Let's begin the explanation of the TOVA program. In this session, we will cover the key topics related to TOVA's basic functions, including TOVA screen layout, data input, output, network creation, deletion, editing, and map control. First, TOVA's screen layout is composed of the main menu, submenu, project database list, location explorer, map screen, map layers, drawing settings, and the D table. As you can see, when you first launch TOVA, the screen is organized with 5 main menu items at the top and submenus below them. On the left, you have the Project Explorer and Location Explorer. The rest of the screen is displayed as empty space with no content. Here, once you input various data at the bottom of the Project Explorer and create a project, the database list is displayed. In this context, you can understand the concept of a project as a space for managing multiple scenarios, and a scenario as a space for managing multiple analysis years. Now, let's proceed with an explanation of TOVA's basic functions and how to use them. As you can see, when you first run TOVA, an empty screen is displayed. Here in the top left corner, if you click the project main menu, options such as New, Open, and Exit are activated. Open allows you to activate existing projects, and clicking New opens a sub-window, as you can see here. Looking at the sub-window's layout, it is divided into project description, time horizon, and trip purpose and mode settings. In the project description section, you can specify the project name, investigator, organization, description, and location. Out of these 5, project name and location are mandatory fields that must be entered, while investigator, organization, and description are optional and not required to be filled in. Now I will enter the project name as Test 2023 to demonstrate. I will specify the save location to be a subfolder within the folder where the TOVA program is installed. Next, we have the time horizon section. The year settings are divided into base year and target year. The base year is set as the most recent year available through statistical data, traffic volume surveys, and origin-destination surveys. For example, if you conducted traffic volume surveys and roadside interview surveys to establish origin-destination data in 2023, then the base year should be set as 2023. The target year is the year you set for future traffic analysis. Typically, it is set as the year when a road is opened or 1 year after its opening. Additionally, you can set additional analysis years, such as 5, 10, 15, 20 years after its opening. Furthermore, even after the project is created, you can also set the target year separately in the Project Explorer on the left. Finally, in the trip purpose and mode settings section, trip purposes are generally not often used in actual analysis. Therefore, you can leave it in the default settings and just take a look at the content. When you click on the right icon, you'll see that it's divided into 4 categories by trip purpose, and you can add or remove items as needed. For example, you can add an item like home-based shopping, or if you want to merge shopping into the other category, you can delete it like this. Next is the trip mode setting. As you can see, there are 6 default modes. You can merge or further divide the modes as needed. For example, I will show you how to differentiate them into 7 categories to match the earth data: passenger car, taxi, bus, other truck, small truck, medium truck, large truck. Once you finish the trip mode settings and click the OK button, the database list will be displayed at the bottom of the Project Explorer on the left, as shown below. To explain the tree structure displayed at the bottom of the Project Explorer, let's break it down. Test 2023 is the project name, and below it, base represents the base scenario or just a scenario. Below base, 2023 represents the analysis year. Beneath this, maps, network data, origin destination trip data, and socioeconomic indicators data are the data tables that make up the 2023 scenario of Test 2023. Here, when you double-click on the map, the screen changes as shown, and the actual map is displayed in the center. This is the screen where the map is displayed as part of the basic layout of TOVA that I described earlier. On the right, as you can see, there's a drawing settings screen and a screen to control map layers. Finally, when you double-click on data, as shown below, the database table is displayed here. As you can see, when you double-click on a node, node-related information is displayed, and when you double-click on a link, link-related information is displayed. I will provide a more detailed explanation after we load the data. Next, I will explain the data input section. In TOVA, there are two main methods for inputting data. One is by clicking on the Data menu at the top, where you can find Import and Export. When you hover over Import as shown, you can choose whether to import three text file format data types, file format, or shapefile GSpace. The concept of loading file format first is related to importing the file format of a demand analysis program called which is commonly used in traffic demand forecast. Generally, TOVA's default method is to import data in text file format. When you click on Text File Format, a dialog box like the one shown allows you to import data for nodes, links, and other data. If you look closely, you'll notice that there are asterisks next to nodes and links. The reason for the asterisks is that they indicate data that is mandatory and must be entered. In the activated subwindow, when you click the Nodes button, a new window titled Node TXT File Import will appear as shown. Here, you should set the file path to the actual file you want to import. And there are three input options: New, Update, and Add. New means that if the current data exists, it will be deleted and the data will be imported from the file path and settings you've specified. Update is used when existing data is present and it updates the data without changing the existing data, but only the attribute values. Add means the current data will remain as it is and additional data from the file will be imported. This is how you can input node and link data. Another way to import data is by double-clicking the node data in the left tree. This will activate the database table at the bottom of the screen, and at the same time, a menu section will appear. When you click on the menu section as shown, you will find Import and Export. I will explain the other functions gradually as we proceed. Click Import and you will see the same window that you selected from the main menu earlier. Here we will input actual data. For the file path, let's use the nodext file located in the text form folder within the sample folder you copy. After selecting the file, you can choose whether to input as New, Update, or Add. Since the node data space is currently empty, we will select New to input the data. Below, there is a section called Data Column Matching, which includes system columns, data types, and file columns. The system columns and types are matched with each other, and system columns are the default column names provided by TOVA. The columns with a red asterisk below the system columns are considered mandatory and must be filled in. Other items are not mandatory, so you can proceed without any issues even if they are empty. On the right side, the file column and the headings shown in the drag and drop area are the headers of the file you want to import. Currently, default import columns is checked, which means the system columns are automatically matched with the file's columns. If you check off the default import columns and want to manually match columns, you can drag and drop the column headers as I'm demonstrating. The preview section at the bottom shows how the file you're about to import is structured. The information from the file I've loaded includes columns like ID, name, type, ASY coordinates, zone ID, target region, and parking fee. Next, select the delimiter used in the file you are currently loading. I have used a tab delimiter for this file. For encoding, choose the one that matches the characteristics of the file. Now click OK, and the data validation process will begin. You will see a message like this. The total record count is 1964, with 72 zone nodes and 1892 general nodes. To continue, click Yes. Next, you need to select which node type will be considered zone nodes. By default, TOVA recognizes node type 0 as zone nodes and link type 0 as zone connectors. Click OK. Now that you've loaded the nodes and they are displayed on the map, try clicking a node in the drawing settings pane on the right. Currently, you can see that the node colors are applied uniformly without distinguishing types. If you want to apply different colors or shapes for different node types, you can make changes like this. And then click Apply to see the changes reflected on the map. To load linked data, follow the same steps as node data. Double-click on linked data, click on Import in the menu. Select the link file from your file path. However, linked data differs from node data in that it has an Generate Link A option. This option allows you to determine whether the data you are importing has ease or not. You can check or uncheck this box accordingly. If you load data with the checkbox checked, link aid will be automatically assigned in sequential order starting from 1. However, when you look at the preview window below, you can see that the data you are loading already contains aids. Therefore, you should load the file with the Generate Link A option unchecked. If you load it with this option checked, you may mistakenly map the A to the From Node column, as shown in the Data Column Matching section. Like when loading node data, a confirmation window appears. If you continue, a window for selecting the link type to be treated as a connector appears. Similarly, choose type 0 and click OK. Unlike loading node data, a sub-window for setting node link types will appear. Let's check if the node type names and type settings are correct. When we loaded the node data earlier, we set node type 0 as Zone Node and 1 as General Node. Now we're specifying what General Node represents. When you click System Code Name, you can see that you have various options, like Highway Node, Urban Rail Station, Park and Ride Lot, and more. Since here, node refers to highway intersections, you should set it as Highway Node. For links, type 0 can be set as Zone Connector, and type 1, which has no link data, should be deleted. You can set the remaining link types from 101 to 108 as road because they represent road links. When you click on the System Code Name option, you'll see various link types, including highway, exclusive hub lane, railway, airway, and more. In this case, you should set these links as highway. Next, I will explain the nomenclature part. In general, in South Korea, link types are commonly denoted using numbers from 101 to 108. Specifically, 101 is for expressways, 102 for urban expressways. 103 for national highways. 104 for metropolitan interzonal roads. 105 for nationally supported rural roads. 108 for ramp connections. If Tanzania were to standardize road classifications and link types, it would greatly facilitate data compatibility and utilization. Once you have completed the settings, pressing OK will display both the nodes and links on the map, like this. When you click on the link in the right side drawing tool, you can see that the current link has been uniformly colored. Links, just like nodes, can be color-coded based on their types. For example, you can designate and apply different colors for different types, such as zone connectors in gray, 101 expressways in blue, 102 urban expressways in green, 103 national highways in red, 104 metropolitan interzonal roads in black, 105 nationally supported rural roads in sky blue, and 108 ramps in violet. Let's try emphasizing the 101 expressway and 103 national highway to make them stand out. After then click Apply. You can see that blue and red lines have been emphasized. As you can see, this line is an expressway, and this one is a national highway. The green line, which represents urban expressways, is located to the north and east, bordering the area. Most of the roads seem to be composed of 104 metropolitan interzonal roads. As needed, you can toggle the checkboxes on or off to display only specific types on the map, like this. This is the section for entering zone data. When you double-click on zone data, you will see an empty screen as shown. It only contains the aid for the zone. This aid is already known to TOVA because when we input node data, we specify the zone node type. Therefore, TOVA is aware of which node aids are zone nodes. However, it doesn't know what administrative name this aid corresponds to. So if you choose to import information about this, the input process remains the same, but as shown, the input method is purely for only updates, without any new or additions. As you can see in the preview below, the zone with node aid 563,043 is considered to be a zone with the administrative name NEGOC. Just like when loading node and link data, clicking OK will input the zone data. Now that we have loaded zone names into the zone data, let's return to node data. Looking at the node data, you can see that the name column is empty because the original data did not contain zone names. Now we will attempt to bring the zone names entered in the zone data into the node data. When the node table is open and you want to execute the import, it may be labeled as text file import, node data at the top. However, I want to import zone text, not node text. As shown in the preview, this is zone text. Here, you will match the zone aid and update the name column in the node data with the full name from the zone data. Now when you click OK, you will see that the node data's name column has been updated with the full names from the zone data. Next, let's display the changed appearance of the node data on the map. In the Drawing tool, click on a node. To display the name of a zone node on the map, check the label at the bottom. Then click Select, choose the label item and click Apply. You will be able to display the name of the zone centroid on the map as shown. Alternatively, if you want to know the location of a particular zone from the data table, you can right-click on the cell of that zone. By selecting Pan to or Zoom to, you will see that the map screen moves to the location of that zone. The section under the zone data in the network data will remain empty as it is not currently in use. Empty data icons are displayed in gray. While data that has been entered is indicated by a sky blue line in the icon. With that, I'll conclude the explanation of the network data input section. Next time, we will practice odd input and network editing. Thank you.